It begins before sunrise, where the best blueberries in the world grow heavy on the branch. Each berry is picked at peak ripeness, no earlier, no later. Thousands of kilograms will be harvested from this single farm before midday. Where volume demands it, the machines move in. Even in the field, the first separation has already begun. Crate by crate, the harvest accumulates in the early morning heat. By the time the sun clears the tree line, the first load is ready to move. The farm road leads to the highway, and the highway leads to the factory. Every crate is weighed and logged. Traceability starts at the source. Sealed in the cold, the berries begin their journey to become something else entirely. The seal is numbered. The temperature is set. And the clock is running. 40 tons of raw blueberries are now moving at highway speed. Two hours separate the farm from the processing plant. Every minute inside is temperature controlled. The industrial district appears on the horizon, utilitarian, purposeful, always running. The plant runs 3 shifts. The gates never stay closed for long.
Seal number? Farm origin checks out. You're clear.
Every delivery is logged against its farm origin before the wheels cross the line. The receiving bay is the first threshold. Raw material becomes factory inventory here.
Keep coming back, straight on. All right, rehearsing.
The cold chain breaks for only seconds. The berries move immediately. Pallet by pallet, the harvest crosses from field logistics into factory precision. Inside the receiving room, the berries rest, but only briefly. A single berry tells the inspector everything about the entire batch. Every bay is numbered, every pallet tracked. Nothing moves without a paper trail. Past the cold room, the factory opens up, and the noise begins. Every pipe in this corridor carries something essential: water, steam, refrigerant, or compressed air. From outside, the scale of the operation becomes clear. This facility runs without stopping. The front of the building is quiet. The back never is.
Ready for the shift? Yeah, let's go.
No one enters the processing floor without full protection, for the worker and for the product. The airlock is the last barrier between the outside world and the sterile processing environment. The production floor is where raw fruit becomes something the world will drink. Every journey through this factory ends at a bottle. It begins at this hopper. The hopper is the factory's first stomach. It receives everything and releases nothing too fast. The auger controls the flow. Too fast and the machines downstream cannot keep pace. Vibration does what hands cannot. It separates without bruising. Cold water carries away the last of the field, soil, dust, and everything the farm left behind. Washed and lifted, the berries meet their first human inspection. Human eyes catch what machines still miss: a split skin, a mold spot, an unripe core. The optical sorter makes 10,000 decisions per minute and never blinks. The second rinse is quieter, a final cleansing before the machines take over completely. Surface moisture removed, the berries are ready to be weighed and moved toward processing. Cleaned, sorted, and weighed, the berries pass the point of no return. The tunnel is the factory's spine. Raw material travels its length toward transformation. Temperature and pressure are the invisible tools of juice production. Both must be set before the berries arrive. The accumulation tank holds enough fruit for one full processing batch. Nothing starts until it is ready. Enzymes are added before crushing. They begin breaking down cell walls before the machines do. The enzyme works silently, loosening the juice from within each berry before a single machine applies force. Gentle heat loosens the cellular structure. The berries begin to yield before the crusher ever touches them. Some processes cannot be rushed. The enzyme needs time. The factory waits. The preconditioned mash moves under its own weight. Thick, fragrant, and ready for what comes next. The crusher feed hopper is the last pause before force is applied. Everything downstream moves faster.
The crusher is running. The preparation is over. What happens next cannot be undone.
The moment of rupture, in fractions of a second, solid fruit becomes something liquid and alive. Raw crushed fruit is not yet juice, it is pulp, and pulp must be worked. The pulper divides. Juice takes one path, everything else takes another. The pomace leaves the process here. Spent, pressed dry, its purpose fulfilled. Raw juice carries everything: color, flavor, bacteria, and enzymes. Heat will decide what stays. Heat travels from the jacket inward. By the time the center reaches temperature, every microorganism is already gone. Hot breaking fixes the color and locks the flavor. This is the moment the juice becomes recognizably itself. Pressing extracts the final yield. Every drop of juice still held in suspended particles is recovered here. What enters the press as cloudy pulp leaves as clear juice. Compression does in seconds what gravity takes hours to achieve. The berry is gone, the juice exists. Everything that follows is refinement.
The juice is measured before it moves. Every parameter recorded before the next decision is made.
The control room is the factory's nervous system. Every valve, every pump, every sensor reports here. Pumps move the juice without hands. Speed, pressure, and flow rate all managed from above.
The juice speaks in numbers. Sugar content, flow rate, and temperature broadcast continuously through the system. Alignment errors cause contamination. The robotic arm removes human error from the equation entirely. A camera watches what no human eye could sustain. Every second of flow, every cubic centimeter of juice. From a single room, one person can see every liter of juice moving through the entire facility. While one line fills bottles, another is already being cleaned. The factory never wastes a moment. Every check passed, every parameter confirmed. The juice is cleared for the final stage. The filling hall runs at a different pace, faster, cleaner, and less forgiving of any mistake. Every bottle is washed immediately before it is filled. Nothing enters the product that was not invited. The carousel never stops. 36 bottles fill simultaneously, every rotation producing another complete set. The induction seal is invisible but absolute, a guarantee of integrity that survives transport, handling, and time. The label is the product's identity, applied in under a second to every bottle that passes. Every bottle carries its history, the farm, the batch, the day, printed in a line no wider than a fingernail. The accumulation table is the only place in the filling hall where the product rests, briefly, before the final push. 12 bottles become one unit. The case packer groups what the filler produced one by one. The sealed case is the factory's final product. Everything inside protected, identified, and ready to move.
One case in 20 leaves the line for inspection. The factory checks its own work, constantly.
Light reveals what the eye alone cannot: fill level, clarity, and the absence of anything unwanted.
A seal that fails the torque test never leaves this room. The tester catches what the line cannot.
Sugar and acidity define the flavor profile. Both must match the specifications set the day the recipe was created. Microbiology results take 48 hours. By then, the batch is in the warehouse, held until the lab clears it. The warehouse receives what the factory produces, case by case, layer by layer, pallet by pallet. Stretch wrap turns a stack of cases into a single unit, stable enough to survive shipping, handling, and stacking. The batch is logged but not released. It waits for the laboratory to speak before it goes anywhere. The hold zone is the factory's pause, product ready to ship, waiting only for the laboratory's permission. The laboratory's signature is the factory's permission. Nothing ships without it.
The hold is lifted with a gesture, and the product begins its final movement through the facility.
7 pallets represent one retailer's weekly order. Assembled, verified, and ready within hours of leaving the filling line. The dock doors open and the outside world enters. For a moment, the journey becomes visible from both ends. 7 pallets in, the truck is full. The factory's work on this batch is done. The same seal that opened the farm gate now closes the delivery truck. Traceability runs the full length of the chain. The truck carries what the farm grew and the factory made. Now it belongs to the road.
The warehouse holds what the factory produces, batch after batch, season after season, without pause.
And this is how modern factories produce blueberry juice from start to finish.
From field to bottle, from harvest to shelf, the factory never stops because the world never stops drinking. The cap is the final seal. Once applied, the juice inside will not meet open air again until a consumer breaks it.